Alexandria, Egypt, 48 BCE. A young queen sits alone in her palace, exiled from her own throne. Her advisors want her dead. Her brother wants her erased. She's 21, beautiful, brilliant. But this isn't a love story, because within a year, her brother will be dead, her sister will be executed, and the most powerful empire in the world will be in her bed. This is the deadly rise of Cleopatra VII, the dark side of Egypt's last queen. The Ptolemaic dynasty ruled Egypt for centuries, but they weren't Egyptian. They were Greek, foreign, paranoid, and obsessed with one thing: keeping power in the family, which meant marrying your sibling. And anyone who stood in your way in that brutal game, siblings, advisors, and even children, were fair game. Cleopatra was 18 when she took the throne, alongside her 10-year-old brother, Ptolemy XIII. But they didn't share power for long. Behind closed doors, the court of Alexandria was a nest of whispers: bribes, poisonings, betrayals. Every sibling was a potential usurper, every servant a spy. And with Rome looming across the sea, the pressure was building. Cleopatra was smarter, older, and more importantly, popular. That made her dangerous. So her brother's advisors made a move. One night, her name disappeared from official documents, her face removed from coins. Soldiers loyal to Ptolemy took the palace. She fled into the desert. Alone, outnumbered, hunted. But Cleopatra had something her brother didn't: a brilliant, calculating mind. While in exile, Cleopatra may have met with Arab mercenaries. She built secret alliances in nearby Syrian territories, even leveraging temple priests and regional nobles who still backed her claim to the throne. She wasn't just waiting, she wasn't just planning a return. She was planning vengeance. At that moment, a Roman civil war exploded. Julius Caesar was chasing his rival, Pompey the Great, straight into Egypt. Pompey begged Ptolemy XIII for asylum. Instead, intending to curry favor with Caesar, the boy king had Pompey beheaded. Upon Caesar's arrival in Alexandria, Caesar was presented with Pompey's severed head as a gift. Bad move. Caesar was furious at this disrespectful act and no longer inclined to ally himself with Ptolemy. Now Cleopatra saw her chance. One night, a merchant arrived at Caesar's quarters, carrying a large laundry bag. Inside it was Cleopatra, wrapped up, barefoot, smiling. Caesar was a man of calculation. He needed Egypt stable and loyal. So when Cleopatra appeared at his quarters, uninvited, he listened. And it wasn't just politics. Their chemistry was instant, and from that moment on, their fates were entwined. Caesar sided with Cleopatra, and together they declared war on Ptolemy XIII. In the chaos that followed, Cleopatra's younger sister Arsinoe tried to seize the throne herself, rallying Egyptian forces in revolt. It wasn't just one enemy, it was a family civil war. War breaks out. A brutal siege followed. The palace burned. The library of Alexandria was set ablaze. Thousands of scrolls, lost forever. Ptolemy fled by boat, but never made it to shore. His body washed up on the Nile. Murdered, accident. Either way, Cleopatra was now queen. But she wasn't done cleaning house. She named and married a new co-ruler, her even younger brother, Ptolemy XIV. But make no mistake, she held the reins. Her sister Arsinoe had declared herself queen during the war. The people loved her. That made her dangerous. Cleopatra exiled her to a temple in Ephesus, sanctuary, safe, for now. But years later, Cleopatra would convince Mark Antony to send soldiers inside and kill her. Inside a temple, sanctuary shattered, no mercy. That left only one remaining threat: her brother-husband, Ptolemy XIV. In 44 BCE, he mysteriously died at just 15 years old. Poison? Maybe. Cleopatra replaced him with her son by Caesarion. With the throne secure, Cleopatra travels to Rome with Caesar, where he declared Cleopatra his ally and his mistress. But Rome wasn't ready for a queen. When Caesar was assassinated in the Senate in 44 BCE, Cleopatra fled back to Egypt with their son. Now alone, she had to walk a dangerous line, appeasing Rome, controlling Egypt, and protecting Caesarion's claim, all while Rome was eating itself alive in another civil war. Now, Cleopatra needed a new ally. In 41 BCE, she sailed into the city of Tarsus, not in a panic, but in a golden barge dressed as Aphrodite, surrounded by scented sails and flute music. Because when Cleopatra made an entrance, she made an entrance. Waiting for her was Mark Antony, Rome's top general. Cleopatra dazzled him. He invited her to dinner. She invited him to hers, and somehow, by the end of the night, the most powerful man in the Roman East was now completely smitten. Fast forward, not one, not two, but 3 children later. Cleopatra and Antony were not just a couple. They were an empire-building power duo, handing out kingdoms to their children like party favors. This didn't sit well with Octavian, Antony's rival back in Rome. He called it treason, he called it delusion, he called it war. And so, in 31 BCE, at the Battle of Actium, Cleopatra and Antony's navy faced off against Octavian's forces. It didn't go well. Ships burned, sails tore, and Cleopatra fled. Antony followed, defeated. Back in Egypt, things unraveled quickly. Antony, hearing a false report of Cleopatra's death, fell on his sword. Dramatic, tragic, and slightly premature since Cleopatra was still alive, but not for long. Octavian wanted to parade Cleopatra through the streets of Rome in chains, his ultimate trophy. Cleopatra had other plans. She locked herself in her tomb, dressed in royal robes, and took poison to end her life. If Octavian wanted a queen for his triumph, he would have to settle for a corpse. Cleopatra's reign began in betrayal and blood, but she didn't just survive, she played Rome, turned assassins into allies, and shaped the fate of the ancient world, not with armies, with calculated ruthlessness. Because in Cleopatra's Egypt, power wasn't inherited, it was taken by any means necessary.